Hello everyone, welcome back to Black History Unveiled. Today we're going to do a little bit of a longer video on the secrets of Playboy. Hopefully I will answer some questions some of you guys may have. And if you have anything to add, please comment below. And let's actually dialogue about this together and put the pieces together. Because every week the episodes are just deeper and darker. And it's really shining a light. And I really hope this series makes a big difference. But if you ask me, they need to go back to the Windy City where he's celebrated and where he's from. He had a he got a psychology degree from that city. So they need to go back and look into his college years, look into his growing up years in Nebraska. He keeps saying his parents were like Puritans. A lot of that in those formative years, something seems to have affected him, and he went left. In 1955, he published The Crooked Man, a story about heterosexuals living in a homosexual society and being punished. I haven't had time to look or find the book. If you guys know about it, please look into it and comment below. But also, when he was in the Windy City, he started doing more philanthropy and civil rights things, which we'll talk about in the next video. But I believe he used these things as a basis to push his narrative forward. Now, I know that he tried to write different books and different cartoons, and all of them always had some type of underlining or overly sexual theme, but it kind of fell flat. Even the movies they said he tried to make fell flat. I think he tried to do a Shakespeare movie, they said, in the series. So we really do need to investigate what happened in this mansion in the Windy City. What was going on? What are those stories? He claims that the mansion made the man. This was the beginnings of what he decided to take to Hollywood and build in another city. So this is where he started the lavish parties. Now, I do know that I found that he invited 20 sociologists to the mansion, and he wanted them to, question the bunnies, and I think he was using all this to lay a groundwork with the civil rights and the psychology and the sociology and the giving to different organizations is where he laid the groundwork to learn how to manipulate and to learn how to cover up what he really wanted, was to make sodomy, what did he want to do? He wanted to make sodomy something that was normalized and not prosecuted. Now, in this series today, we know going back a couple episodes, they talked about bestiality. He wanted all of these things to be normalized and to be not criminalized. And this young lady, or this Sandra Theodore, talked about his bestiality of their dog and how she had to protect the dog. So if we go back to the Windy City and we bring ourselves forward to what he was doing in Hollywood, and you dig deep into what he really wanted to do, he really wanted to make these things that people see as not normal, or as like sodomy is anal or oral sex. And in some states, they still have laws, as you see on the map, where it's illegal for even heterosexuals to participate in sodomy. He wanted this to be wiped away. Now, we also learned that he was probably more gay than he was heterosexual, even though he didn't like to talk about his homosexuality that freely. He considered it a phase. But as you can see in the pictures, him and this guy, I forget, the young lady was a daughter in the series, they were friends forever, just like him and Bill Cosby. Now, his girlfriend that he started dating when she was 19 and he was 57 had spoke about these things when they broke up. And Hugh Hefner considered his bisexuality a part of his swinging journey in life. When that was over, he said that was just an experiment. But this young lady right here says all through the 80s, this is what he was really into. And it seems like every decade through Hugh's life, he just got worse and worse. And instead of taking ownership, he deflected and talked about her lesbian affairs. But this young lady, I do believe her name is Carrie Lee, was very open and candid. And she considered her life with him as a cult. And as we saw, I think the doctor's name was Mark Saginaw. This is his daughter, I do believe. She spoke in the series. And these two ladies told the story that he really was a homosexual man. And Holly Madison, his ex-wife from The Girls Next Door, or his ex-girlfriend, said that his lifestyle was a cutthroat cult. So these are two ladies saying that the lifestyle was a cult-like. Also, this young lady, if she had been listened to earlier, telling everybody he was a devil, maybe a lot of this could have been stopped. I do believe he used his training and his studies of psychology and sociology to build this empire. But one thing that I hope really happens is that missing girl that was talked about at the doctor's house. How many more missing girls was there? What was going on in those tunnels when the people didn't want to be seen coming to the mansion, and then maybe they were coming to other houses, being transported to the mansion or being transported away from the mansion? This all needs to come out in the next series. Now, one of his last girlfriends to leave him said that I think she met him when she was 19 or so too. She said she was drugged and had to participate in a sex orgy, and she got pregnant, and she decided to have an abortion of the demon child because Hugh Hefner was in his 80s. So, I mean, even late into his years, even after he got his divorce and he was supposed to have transformed and whatever, he was still up to no good. Now, he would grade the videos and give them grades A through F, and he would use those video recordings to create jealousy in the bedroom. He would put the people's names, the type of sex, and he would give them a letter grade and use that as the porn he used in his bedroom. But apparently his head of security, I think his name is Joe Pescio or whatever, took the tapes, sealed them in a coffin. The tapes from the 70s, not the 80s or 90s. I'm not for sure how many tapes he had from the 90s. And he put them in the ocean. And this is what Hugh Hefner said in an interview in June of 2011. As he was launching his new Playboy Club over in London. He talked about the tapes from the 70s being thrown into the ocean to protect his friends. So let's go into his will. Now, no one in his family is able to collect on a will if they ever show any real addiction to any hard substances. I'm not for sure about alcohol. He did have several kids and several wives. So I read how the will was broken down, but I really wasn't interested in it. What I was interested in was how he used those women to fund his lifestyle in his later years, because his yearly expenditures was $1.3 million. So he sold off his company in a way that would allow him to keep part share, I guess, for his family in the future. I guess it was less than 30%, but used that to live off of until the day he died, which I find that crazy. And he didn't even invest any of his money into the deal. So he still walked away with 7% ownership, which allowed him to continue his lifestyle to the day he died and to take care of his family. Now, he started his business back in the Windy City for about $8,000, and he used the women as commodities. Once he saw that his films and his books and cartoons wasn't going anywhere, he used these women. Now, the owner, I think his name is Darren Metropolis. You can look him up yourself. He is the new owner of the Playboy Mansion. He is a billionaire. He says he's not changing the mansion. It's going to stay exactly as it is. But we know that Hugh Hefner just wanted to change the world socially and sexually. That's what he considered to be positive. But we had listened to this young lady back when she said he was the devil. Maybe things would have changed. Now, we all know that he just looked at women as commodities, and they weren't really important, because I truly believe that Hugh Hefner really was gay. He was actually, some reports called him a granny pimp of the sexual revolution, giving Quaaludes and Viagra, syphilis, and different diseases to women. Now, the sad part is that Marilyn Monroe can't even really rest in peace, because he bought his crypt right next to hers. For what reason? To me, that's kind of creepy. So he spent $75,000 in 1992, 40 years after she was on his cover in 1953, to be buried next to her. Jay Leno said he should have been buried on top of her for spending that type of money, but that's another creepy statement. I'm not sure when they're really going to dig deep into the story of Mary and all the other ugly women who worked for him, but Ecclesiastes 9:3 says, "This is evil in everything that happens under the sun. The same this destiny overtakes all. The hearts of people, moreover, are full of evil, and there is madness in their hearts." Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.